Okay, we're in the Alligator Lagoon.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the St. Augustine Alligator Farm Zoological Park. Welcome to
They're
our
all coming.
demonstration. My name is Kirsten. I'm our shopkeeper here at the park. And really quick before we get to the fun part, a couple safety reminders for you. Please, anything in your hands, cups, cameras, cell phones, don't leave them resting on that inner ledge. Always have one hand on those items at all times. It's just a little bit too easy for things to fall down in the enclosure, so please don't dangle your arms or objects or leave them resting on those coaster ledges. If something falls into the enclosure, it's most likely outcome is an animal tries to investigate it. An investigation could mean leaving that item. Excuse me, which could be potentially very harmful, so of course we like to avoid this, but we do understand that accidents happen, so don't be afraid to let a staff member know. If something falls into this or any other enclosure, we'll do our best to get it back for you, if we can do so safely, which is not always the case, so no big promises about that. All that out of the way, we can get on to the feeding demonstration, and the reason that I refer to it that way is the fact that there are 36 very large American alligators in this enclosure. So if I were to make sure each and every single one of them got a big full meal, we'd probably be here the rest of the afternoon. And I know you might want to check out a few other things at our park here. So I'm going to work with who's interested. And I think you might have noticed they clearly know what's going on. The ones that feel like eating are going to make their way right over here to my platform. If your favorite alligator is on the other side not getting a snack right now, don't you worry. That animal has just decided it's not interested in eating right now. Might wait till later today, tomorrow.
Okay, you can make it. Thank you.
As you can tell just by looking at them, they are
If
happy.
you're not taking any pictures of your phone, it'd be great if you could take them with that. I just didn't want to, you know.
And the first food item I have to offer them here is what we call simply knocked out, or crocodilians. The specialized dry dining made by an exotic feed company called Missouri. So Missouri does make a variety of exotic feeds, but this one right here was designed by veterinarians, crocodilian biologists, and treated by staff at our very own park. They all got together and decided what needed to go into this convenience.
So one of the questions we had when we first came here was how many of these animals who are fed constantly, twice a day, were going to come up for the feeding, and that's our answer. Not all of them are even moving. They're only going to eat if they're hungry, and those over there are obviously not hungry. So, although we still see some of them moving, not all of them are responding to the feeding time.
We can easily adjust that diet if we do need to. And now, while you might have never heard of the company called Missouri, they're actually associated with another business called Purina. That makes you John Capture. Now, while this pellet is clearly very exciting and nutritionally absolutely wonderful, of course, I wanted to show you somewhat a variety of foods we can offer here at our park. So I brought along a couple of one of our very, very favorites. It's going to be some big, juicy rats.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So most of you probably find this a little bit gross. Some of you might find it kind of exciting. But honestly, as a zoo, that is not the most important thing here. Our highest priority will always be the health and welfare of our animals. So alongside that nutritionally wholesome pellet, it's nice to also offer the delicious fur, meat, bones, and guts that this rodent has to offer. So we do feed items like this out whole so the alligators can benefit from all the nutritional aspects as well as even mentally stimulating aspects of gobbling up a whole prey item. So clearly, I think we have a few takers.
Here's a few more of them.
What about you, Chip? There you go, go ahead. I would also like to share with you some history about our park. We've been around for over 120 years, but this actually isn't our original location. In the 1920s, we were located just across the street in what is now called Anastasia State Park. But around that time, we had some natural disasters in that location, hurricanes, flooding, and even a fire, so we did move right over here. And in 1937, we were purchased by the Grisdale family. With that purchase, we went from being a park that had just American alligators to a park with all 24 species of crocodilians. We're one of the only facilities in the world to have all 24 species, so this is quite unique for us here today. Also, we have plenty of beautiful birds, amazing mammals, and a great variety of reptiles as well. So we're very happy with that purchase by the Grisdale family. And of course, we don't just display these animals education, and to inspire you. We do plenty of research, conservation, and even breeding with them, so it's quite a fantastic facility due to that purchase. But of course, we're here to learn about the amazing American alligator, so we'll get right back to them. Alligators are what we call generalist carnivores, which means just what it sounds, they'll eat just about anything. So that could be some variety of delicious rodent, some other sort of mammal, fish, bird.
Really kill those
great big
things.
size, they'll go ahead and eat crustaceans and snails and insects if that's what they do find. And very handy that they're so generalist, because they're also opportunistic carnivores. So this means they don't always know when they're going to get their next meal. So an alligator in the wild will typically eat just about any time you find them sitting to, just in case it's quite a while till the next one comes along. Let's not need a hot kid. What about Deuce? Hey, Deuce. Deuce. Come on up here, buddy. Lining up his shot. There we go. And I know we still get quite a few questions about isn't this such a tiny little snack for all these big animals. Please keep in mind this isn't a full feeding. It's just a little sneak peek of what feeding them looks like. Also keep in mind that you are looking at cold-blooded reptiles. So this means that they're not able to produce their own body temperature, and they're not actually burning up a bunch of calories to do so like we are. And if you're not burning up your calories, you don't actually have to keep eating to replace them. And this way alligators can sustain very well up about 80 to 90 pounds of food over the course of an entire year. So 80 to 90 pounds sounds like a whole lot to us for one sitting.
Well, if they have something better to do, you know, if they're in North Carolina.
It's about the same as either you or I eating one sandwich every week and being perfectly healthy and satisfied off that small amount alone. It's amazing how little these big animals need to hopefully sustain themselves. This is their bodies work in an entirely different way than ours do. But of course, we all know we've probably watched the Nature Channel once or twice. They can take something much more impressive than my little rodent. Maybe a raccoon, a wild pig, a huge adult deer. But there's just one problem. Let's see, here's a good example out here. Somewhere everyone can see. What about over there? You look like you're sleeping. Not for long enough. But it's taken a second to find that because when they are on the land, their eyes are right on top of their head, so it's kind of difficult to see the ground right next to them. So
That one's going to snatch it. I see it. I see it. Easter egg hunt.
But she's tossing that rodent around in her mouth. It looks like she's chewing it, but her jaws only move up and down. Chewing takes kind of a side-to-side motion. So she was honestly just positioning it in her mouth, maybe breaking up a couple bones, still reaching back to her, let it fall down her throat using gravity. Her jaws are not designed for chewing. They're designed for the death roll. So while it sounds
Way better than I thought.
it's also a way of breaking on the big
American alligator?
deer. When an
The kind
alligator
we'll
grabs
see
a
in
little limb from the
here.
side of that triangle, they have 60 to 80 conical shaped teeth that will puncture and hold on. That's what they're designed for, not chewing. And that powerful jaw can do so. So they puncture, they hold on, and that's when they spin. That pulls off that more manageable, smaller chunk of a huge deer or whatever the item may be. So it's kind of like their version.
I should look and see like what you got, so I'm not like retaking a bunch of pictures.
No, that's all right. Oh, wow.
For them to leap up and out of the water. But you might notice the obstacle they have here. They kind of have to crawl all over each other.
Ooh, that's kind of
It's
cool.
not the optimal way to leap up out of the water.
I feel like I should take a
If they
video.
had a
I took
nice
one.
clear path, no one was in their way, the water is deep enough
But
to
you could
put their
take one,
body
too.
in a
The trees here are really nice.
entirely vertical position with their tail down underneath them. That's because the tail is very powerful, full of laterally compressed muscles, so they swipe or undulate it back and forth right underneath them. That gives them the potential to blast about 2/3 of their entire body up and out of the water. That's about down to their hind limbs. So frankly, I'm a little bit grateful they don't always show that off right here in front of me. That's pretty intimidating. Although this is pretty intimidating all on its own. So this is my last whole prey item here. We'll see if I can get one last nice little leaf for you. Then after that, I'm going to toss out the rest of a couple pillows I have and hang out right here so you can work work your way around, and please ask anything on your mind. I'd be more than happy to answer those questions for you. Thanks so much for choosing to spend your day with us here at the Alligator Farm Zoological Park. I hope it's a great day.
They're like just dropping.
I want to see her throw it again. That was pretty cool. Look at all of them. That's so neat.
Cool.
Yes.
You want to go back and look at the turtle?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
My rat, my rat. Very neat. Look at the huge one over there moving. Gosh. Look how fat that thing is. That's all he could do. He get about 4 steps and he's done.
Oh, we got a big baby? Yeah.
He still hadn't gotten that rat all the way down. Alright, so that's feeding time at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm Zoological Park. Good stuff.